Monica. Monica. How the hell are you? Y'all, this is my boss slash used to be coworker, family member, boss friend. She everything and all in between. So that's why we're here. That's why we're here to meet her today. You know what I'm saying? You. So in charge of Emma's, in charge of Bordeaux. But let's take a big step backwards. Big step backwards. How'd you grow up? Where'd you grow up?
Where'd I grow up?
Yes.
A little bit of everywhere. I was born in Augusta. I did some elementary school in Thompson, moved to Texas. From Texas, moved back to Thompson. From Thompson, moved to South Carolina, and South Carolina is where I stayed for the rest of my schooling. And then literally right after high school, I come right back to Thompson.
Okay, wow. Is this a mother and father affair?
Absolutely. My dad would get job opportunities that just fit for us, and why not, So, he also has family that lives in Texas, which was a reason, an actual, okay, we can go that way. We've got family up there.
Yes.
Let's try something else new in life. Same thing with South Carolina. Just another opportunity, and he was like, why the heck not? You only live once, so.
You do? You do? Is there any in particular place that you enjoyed more? Like, I know was Thompson just convenient when you moved back here, or was it your number one option out of all of those places?
It was not my number one option by no stretch of the imagination. What is it for me? Home. My mom's side of the family, the entire side, which for me personally was where I was closest to growing up. And I am an only child, so my cousins from my mom's side of the family were more of the siblings type for me.
Right.
Spent a lot of time, and all in Thompson. So Thompson was my comfort. But to be quite honest with you, Aiken, bar none, was nice. It was, I guess, for me, but not for me.
So wild. So if I asked my fiance today where she would want to go, if it wasn't for a little bit of family, she would like to go back to Aiken too. That's weird.
It's awesome because it's like the best of both worlds. You literally have the city environment with all of the finest things you could absolutely want, okay? But then also you've got the country environment that's not hard to find, and then you've got downtown Aiken, which is incredibly beautiful. It's a peaceful community, and I don't know, it was definitely for me, especially the way I enjoy involving myself with people and things, and Aiken was that.
Which city do you say was definitely like a learning ground? Like I moved just a little bit when my mama got divorced. I didn't move as far as you did, but definitely when I moved and I went to Grovetown, I was just walking down the hallway. This is just like months into school. And I just cried. I just walked down the hallway, just cried. Cause I tried. And you know me, I did try. I tried hard to make it happen, but it just didn't happen for me. And I definitely knew that's not where I wanted to be. Which one was like, ugh, how do y'all live here?
Honestly, I didn't experience that. I did not experience that.
You know what? That's a blessing.
Before, oh, absolutely. For me, though, it was absolutely an enjoyment to be out in school. For me, that was a breakaway from home. I was one of those kids who genuinely enjoyed going. So, honestly, the environment could have been something that I was just naive to because I was so dang happy just to be at school.
Oh, so your mom and dad had to tell you, hey, Monica, sit down somewhere. So you were to get in the car and go when you got the car type deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
You kind of like that today still. I can't say that much. I can't say that much. Operating two different places. So let's go before here. Before we get to this job title that you got here. What job kind of lets you know that probably management is where I want to be at? What job kind of told you that? Because for me, it was definitely right after Sonic. I held it for a long, long time. And by the time I was management and then went somewhere else and I wasn't, it was weird. It was very weird for me. So what job was that for you? How old were you actually?
So truth be told, I started working when I was 15. My first job was Captain D's, and I literally started out sweeping the lobby. I was so tickled that the woman there decided to give me a chance. She was like, I got something for you to do, because turns out I came in on Senior Wednesday, which I don't know if you know anything about Captain D's and seniors on Wednesday, but holy moly, they like a fish. And so the dining room's always packed out, literally from the time the doors open till the time they close. So she was like, absolutely, please come be my little, my little girl and come clean up all this mess. It was fine though. I was elated to have a job.
So you hopped in first day, basically?
Quite literally hopped in first day. But then also, so every job I've ever had since the day I turned 16, I've been in a management position, whether it be shift leader, actual manager. I've always fell in line with it. I don't know if it's my ability to follow instructions, the person that I am, or just my eagerness to learn, but I've always been in a position of management in any facility I've been in.
Oh, so you ain't even really have to ask much. You just kind of came with the territory almost to say.
Again, my eagerness to learn the job. Whenever you go in and show somebody, you want to put your all into it, because for me that's a huge thing. If I'm going to do something, I want to be 100% on it. Like, I want to know the ins and outs. I want to know it better than I know myself, because truth be told, I don't know myself sometimes. We're still learning as we go.
Yeah, I tell people all the time. When I came into management and people asked me, they was like, Rayvon, why do people give you a little bit more respect than me? And they thought about maybe gender, maybe color, maybe this, that, and the third. For me, I knew exactly what it was. It was the simple fact of the matter is that I, as a manager or boss of some sort, if I asked you to do something, I would do it. And and that's one thing that really stands out about you, is that like you make it a very open-ended thing. It's always like, it's never go do this. It's like, we going to do this, and or is there anything that you need from me before I disappear from your face to go handle endeavors?
Absolutely.
Why do you feel the need to do that?
I don't know any other way to be, because I can't be great at all I do without my team. So I can't dictate without being willing to be a part of what it is that we have going on. I'm also extremely hands-on, so I can't really just, I don't know, celebrate in this success if I'm not a part of it. I got to be in there with them. Like, this is us together. We're a whole team. I also enjoy getting to know the personalities of my employees, because the best way for me to build my team is to find out everybody's strength and weakness and assemble them in a manner that showcases their strengths all the time, that works best for our team. And I can't dictate that without getting in and finding out, what's up, let's learn this together. So I've always been that way. I've always thought that good management, good leadership, you've got to be willing to do the job too, because what kind of individual are you asking someone to do something you're not willing to do yourself? And then, how can you dictate its perfections or imperfections if you're not willing to show, hey, this is how I want it, because I said so.
Because a big problem in the workforce, in terms of like the people that some people see quote unquote too tough, are the jobs that walk up to you, and when days are getting a little hard or a little weird, management doesn't step up, but it's like, oh, hey, this is your job title, but also do these 4 other things today.
Absolutely.
And that's where you lose people. That's where it's weird. And I feel like a lot of my generation gets flack for that nowadays, but their paycheck doesn't buy the same thing that it bought before. So how can you actually ask someone to care so much about it? Because I know some people, I talked to a grandmother, 2 generations. She might have been like 60 or 65. She said when she got her first job and she got up to about $10 an hour, she could afford everything that it took to take care of her and just herself, one little condo, groceries, and savings and stuff like that. So that's amazing that you do kind of step in and still do that, because I know a lot of people in management who still, as much as possible, see that management is more of how much can I not do. And they also think, And what they've convinced themselves is that that's better.
I disagree with that because
I definitely
you know, I never want my team to feel like they are drowning for reasons that I can help. If there is a situation going on, a scenario going on, that I can step in and make it great for all of us, well, that's exactly where I want to be. Because again, I can't be great and be successful without them, you know, so.
And I'd have to ask an attribute that you would say today for like a younger person, maybe 16 to maybe probably even my age as well too, up in that area, and they've been tasked with management. What should they be trying to acquire first? What attribute should they come into work and focus on of themselves?
The willingness to accept and understand that there is always room for growth. That you quite literally won't ever know everything. But that is most important because holding accountability to what you do is top tier. The most you can ask for is honesty and accountability. If you've got those two qualities, I don't care at what age, you've got absolute potential. Because accountability literally shows that you have a willingness to accept that, okay, this situation could be different. We can grow from it and move on. That is extremely important.
God, I'm so glad you said that actually too, because that's my thing. Dink Juan preaches on like all the time. His favorite word is accountability.
Mine too.
And he says, even when I texted him the first time about reaching out to connect with him to do something, he's like, I think I would like you as a friend, but I just want to let you know before we become friends, I hold my friends accountable. I was like, whoa. It's like that's a little straightforward.
Hey.
I was like, I like it. What you mean? He was like, I mean, we're just not gonna be friends if you don't take care of your kids. That's weird.
It's weird. Absolutely.
That's weird.
Yeah. I think, was it you the other day? I said, someone who is willing to hold you accountable, that person loves you. Don't, try not to take it to heart too bad if you can. Now, don't get me wrong, delivery is absolutely everything. But someone willing to hold you accountable for your actions and say, hey, I still love you, bud, but this ain't right, or we probably shouldn't do it this way. That's love. That's something you should
It really is. It really is. And sometimes people just trip. What was your first trip like? Fired the wrong person, sent out the wrong schedule, screwed up all the paychecks or something?
That's a really good question. To be quite honest with you, I'm pretty careful in aspects like that. Now, I tell you, whenever I first started working at the Viva, I definitely salted the entire container of tea. It was supposed to be sugar. I put a whole bag of salt in it. Could have been worse.
That's funny.
But that is definitely one of my top tier, goofy, holy cow, girl, you weren't even almost paying attention moments. Yes. And then what was the worst part is it wasn't actually realized because I was doing it. It was realized because we tasted it. And then even worse than that is it's a group of us where all the girls are like, what's wrong with the tea? Nobody can figure it out. I'm like, well, I put sugar in it, you guys. And we're all tasting and going, oh, it tastes salty. And no one ever thought, well, you put salt in it. Well, that's what had happened.
That's what happened.
I put about 3 cups of salt in there. It was right nice.
3 cups of salt is wild, honestly, though. 3 cups of salt is pretty wild, though. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to be honest with you. But, and also to a new hire, what's there something that you think you have to say to new hires based upon the new hires that you had that didn't last, or either that you had to let them go? How could you tell someone else on here who's like, when I approach a job the first day, how do I leave a good taste in your mouth?
That's tough because it is obviously to be determined on the individual. But for me, there's a couple things that I look for in the individual when we're speaking. One being eye contact. I want to know if you can look at me while you're speaking, because that tends to let me know if you're confident in what you say, or, but now don't get me wrong. I sometimes read people really bad. So this is a hard question to answer, because what I've also learned is people can talk a really good game and not put their money where their mouth is. And that has happened to me more times than I can even almost count. I will have somebody, tell me I can do this, that, and the third, and I'm excellent with this, and I'm going to do this, this, and this, and come in, and it's like, who are you? What happened to the person I interviewed? Because this isn't it. So, honestly, that right there, especially in this industry, it's a hit or miss.
Yeah.
You quite literally have to go on a whim and a prayer. You may look up and find someone you've worked with in the past or something. You know what I mean? But for the most part, it is literally a whim and a prayer. You use your best judgment. And I, especially being in this industry, I always want to know how they feel about cleanliness. Are you good with, washing your hands quite literally after you do everything? Those are always important, but that's a tough question to answer, honestly.
Yeah, it is, because even when I was hiring people at Sonic, and Sonic, it's a large set of people.
Yeah.
I came back from, after a couple of years of it, I'm pretty sure I walked away from like 5 or 6 interviews, sat down for the first 3 minutes, and I was stood up and I was like, just come tomorrow. And I knew they had the job, and I knew they were fine. I knew they weren't serial killers.
Absolutely.
Essentially. But
and that's
I'm not gonna lie to you though. The range in which I was open to just kept closing. Yes. Like you were saying, because the more and more I hired, the more and more this felt like a shot in the dang dark. The more it just felt like, oh man, I don't even know if I put bullets in here. I don't even know if there's anything in there to do anything. Because like, if I could say 100% of people, and then let's say 40, and then let's say I threw like what I think is a good way to look at a person type deal, it's about 40%. It's about 20. But the crazy part about it is, sometimes you'll roll around to a summer, you don't hire 10 people planning on, you done told them, like, hey, we're working through, you know what I'm saying? We're going to keep probably like 4 or 5 of y'all. Then you hire 10 people, you're like, why do I want to keep all 10 of these people?
So, for me, because I run 2 restaurants, I don't typically find myself in that position. I find myself in I give up. I don't want to hire anybody. You guys are on your own. We're working in the kitchen by ourselves. Because, oh man, sometimes it's excruciatingly painful what we go through. And I mean, like, just, especially today's day and age, and I can't say that it's an age factor, because what I've learned is it's not the age. It is definitely today's society. It quite literally depends on the person, whether they are lazy or they are not. And that's sad to say, but it's so real. Work ethic is far and few between. And again, I thought there was an age difference. I used to say, oh, I need someone more my age. But I've absolutely hired people my age who were garbage, who did absolutely nothing on my clock. And I'm like, this really isn't working out.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. The grown-ups, they're full-on adults.
Man,
you think it goes up.
Right.
My God.
Right.
My God.
To be quite honest with you, sometimes I'd rather work with the younger generation, because they are moldable. Because, truth be told, in the first week alone, you will know if they are receptive to what you say and they are able to listen. And
especially at that young of an age.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, I had this kid at Sonic. This is Monica. I'm talking about. This is funny. I didn't know what to say. So car hops are usually girls. Occasionally you'll have a dude, or either like you'll have a cook come from the back to help the car hop or something. So we had a dude who wanted to be a car hop. He was a car hop. I said, Abby, take out the trash. I was like, Heidi, you gonna do this? And I turned over and I looked at him and I was like, oh, well, we got a dude here. You take out the trash. Why I gotta do it? was his exact words and his exact tone of voice. I looked at him and I laughed. Unconsciously for 5 minutes. I stood straight up and I was like, there's no way on God's green earth you're serious. But, and see, the thing about it is, and someone told me this the other day, this made me want to cry too, and it was like, man, it was like, Rayvon, it was like, your daddy wasn't around? I was like, no. He was like, you just act like a dude who had a dad. I couldn't even tell you where I learned that type of rule from.
So that
you know
was
what I'm saying? Directly. But like, I guess I just have to attribute it to mom.
So that was my first thought in your scenario, because what I learned this really quickly. You can't ever assume the situation of the individual that you're speaking of. You don't know how they were raised, who raised them, by whom, what their, realistic world looked like to them. So it's absolutely astonishing to me what the young people don't know. What I have learned, and that's mostly why I guess I have an extremely mothering nature. So the younger kids do tend to be right up there on me, and I found myself at one point looking at them like my own children, being like, what is wrong with you, kid? How did you not know that?
Yeah.
But in this leadership and being just a grown-up and growing myself daily, I've realized that, well, it's because we're not all taught the same. We come from different individuals.
And the kids aren't stupid. They're literally, in a more literal sense, they're ignorant. They by college just don't know.
Purpose. It's quite literally from a lack of not knowing, and no one to have showed them that it is. There's so much more out there. It's you know what I'm trying to say.
I think it also includes like a safe space between parents and child as well too.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got them children that like if your children don't walk up to you and ask you a lot of questions, I got a lot of questions to ask you.
Absolutely.
Because I know they're curious.
Absolutely.
Mom, is this a green bean? Yeah, that's a green bean. Are you sure? What am I lying for?
That's a yellow bean right there.
You know what I'm saying? And it'll be my 6-year-old. I'm like, Rima, what am I lying for?
First of all, do we have beef, little girl? Is it something you want to talk about?
And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, there's no way y'all kids don't talk to y'all that aren't really curious about this stuff.
Right.
But I'm gonna leave you alone though. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you. You know what I'm saying? We both at work. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you get back to it and everything. So just before we step away though, is there anything that you want to leave off with? Anything that you want someone who will see this video, Monica Duvall, what would you like them to see? What would you like them to hear?
What would I like them to hear? Well, mostly that I am grateful for absolutely everyone in this town, out of this town, anyone that has been willing to take a chance on both of my restaurants. I can't even almost explain in words really how I feel like my life is. I sometimes feel like it's a dream, because how did we land here? And truth is, it is with great team members and the community. We have some of the most wonderful people in this community, and I have different individual relationships with them, and a lot of them support me just for the mere fact that it's me. And I don't know why God seems so fit to bless me with so many amazing things in my life.
Come on now.
But the man, he shows me daily like I'm living in a world that I prayed for, and I'm so grateful for it. I am so grateful for it. I wouldn't take any moment from the learning experiences, the hardships. I wouldn't take a single drop of it back, and I am just forever grateful for again, the people, everyone around me, everyone that contributes to what it is that quite literally fills me with joy. I love the feedback that I get from the community. I love that people love to come see Monica. That literally is a fuel in me that I can't explain. It's something I can't even almost, but I know God is responsible for every bit of it. And so on a daily, I praise Him for everything, for all of y'all. I mean, just all of it. Again, it all feels super surreal to me on most days because I'm like, is this is my life for real? You know, almost feel like a celebrity some days. I walk around this town and everybody knows me. Hey, girl, what's up? And you're like, and I mean, y'all my people. Everybody, I love people and humans and interactiveness, and so I am so grateful for all of it. And I'm thankful that you wanted to do this. This was absolutely fun, and I think where you're going with this is incredible.
I I was gonna ask you too. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do a day in the life of yours as well too. I've been Ray Vaughn.
Sometimes I'm Monica.
That's been the best one yet. Cut it off there. I'm just yeah, we're done. That's the best one yet. You know, I say I've been Ray Vaughn, and then I go like this. Every 90% of people say nothing.